Hey, welcome to the Monetize Your Social podcast. I am Soraya, and here on this podcast, I talk about all things social media, how to monetize your social media to get where you want to go in life, how to generate income, how to grow your business, how to seek personal fulfillment, all sorts of great things that can come from social media. But I want to talk today very quickly on a pretty concise little episode here about how to effectively not make a massive mistake that I see everybody making. So the background is when we get onto social media, we are often taught, and I teach this as well, to not make your social media a pitch fest, right? You don't want to just show up and sell. It's the old kind of jab, right hook that Gary Vee talked about however many years ago. And the concept is you give value, you do all these wonderful things to serve your people, and then you make an offer. And that still holds true. However, I think some people take it too far. Some people take it too far to the point where they don't ever make offers. And in fact, they take it so far that it's a guessing game what they're actually selling. Tell me if you have ever felt this way. I did when I first started my business. I was so terrified and so naive in just the world of business and sales, and I wasn't an entrepreneur, and I was just diving into this foreign language of trying to show up online and grow a business. And I was absolutely terrified of making sales. I was actually absolutely terrified of making an offer. Now, I realize that making an offer is the way that I can help people. And so me telling you that I can help you is a good thing. But at that point in my career, I didn't have that kind of perspective. And so to me, showing up and asking someone to purchase something, or telling someone that I have something available, or even something as silly as talking about like a free opt-in or a lead magnet, telling people that I had something was terrifying because I wasn't confident in myself. And so my question to you today, just food for thought, is if you had a physical store and your business was not online, you didn't have any online presence, if you had a physical brick and mortar store, what kind of advertising would you be doing? Like, what kind of things would you specifically be doing to promote your store? Well, number one, let's just talk about the basics. You'd probably open your store every day, right? Maybe you'd take a day off, a Monday or a Sunday or something like that. But you'd probably have your store physically open for people to come in, right? You would be selling things when people came in, right? You'd have price tags. You'd say, hey, welcome. Can I help you with anything? You'd probably advertise traditionally if you didn't have social media. Maybe you do some radio ads or some print ads, or who knows, banners or billboards or sandwich boards outside of your store. But your goal would be to let people know that A, you have a store, B, what your store sells, and C, that your store is open. Otherwise, you're not going to make any sales. I think that's a really helpful thing to think about, even though it's very rudimentary. It's very kind of silly to think about that. Now think about your online business or your store, if I may. Do people know that you're open for business? And are you open for business? Are you actually working your store every single day? What I mean by that is, are you positioning yourself to the point where people know, A, what you're selling, B, that you're selling something that can help them, what it does for them, and C, how they can get into your store, when they can be in your store. So if it was a brick and mortar store, they would want to know the store hours. For an online business, you need them to know how to enter your world. What is the first step that they need to take? So I want to give you two. First of all, I just think that's a great thing to think about, right? How do people know to buy from you? Are you showing up online, giving them some sort of a prompt? Is there an easy way to figure it out? One very simple thing that you can do that I'm going to wrap myself out. I actually haven't even done it myself. It's been on my to-do list for a month and I still haven't done it, but be better than me. If you're on Instagram, an easy way is to pin some very simple content as the first 3 posts on your feed. And the first post can be something like who you are and what your story is. The second post can be something like, what you do, how you help people. And the third post can be, how to start or whatever your version, like how to start with your first thing or whatever it is that you're selling, like how to enter into your world. So hold me accountable. I'll be doing that this week. But I also want to talk about the fact that there's other ways, even though we run businesses that have social media presence, there are so many ways that people don't take advantage of to grow their business. And I'm going to give you 2 examples that I personally just kind of had this aha moment. Last week while I was in St. Louis for my company convention. So the first thing is the day one, I flew from San Antonio where I live to St. Louis through DFW. And I figured, just like when I travel, that it's a great opportunity to let people know what I do. Now, I don't love the idea of constantly wearing company swag if you're in network marketing, but on travel days, I love it because so often it starts a really good conversation. So I've been doing it more and more. People might say what is that? If they read, the company name on my shirt, or maybe they've heard of it, but they didn't know what it was, or a friend sells it, but they want to ask questions. It's just an easy conversation starter. So anyways, I fly from San Antonio to St. Louis, and I've got the company name on my sweatshirt. It's really comfy to fly in anyway, so it's a win-win. And I get to the hotel and I get to check in, and it turns out that the general manager is the one checking me in. And he says, welcome to the hotel. I'm doing the whole normal check-in stuff. And he looks at my sweatshirt and he says, oh, are you here for a convention? I keep seeing people with shirts like yours. And I said, I am. And he said, well, what do you do? And I said, well, we're actually a premium hair care company. And I joked and I said, you're about to have 20,000 men and women in your city with fabulous hair. Just kind of a fun little opening. And he said, oh, really? Hair care? Is having fabulous hair a requirement to join? And I said, no, but it's a result when you use the products for long enough. And that alone piqued his interest. And he said, well, look, I have kind of thinning hair. And he goes on to this whole thing about, telling me about his own personal hair. And he says, do you have anything that could help me? I said, absolutely. And it just so happened that I had some samples on me and I had information and blah, blah, blah. So I take his info, I give him some samples, and I said that I'm going to follow up with him. So we follow up, and guess what? He's now a customer. Yay. My point is, are you ready to seize the opportunity when that opportunity comes to you? Are you ready? Do you know what you're going to say? Do you have something that is easy to tell people about what you do? Do you tell them the benefits of what you're all about and that you can help them? It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be some perfect elevator pitch or anything like that. For me, I just said, yeah, you're about to have 20,000 men and women in this city with fabulous hair. Now, clearly that's an exaggeration. Not everybody in the company has fabulous hair, but you get what I mean, right? I'm telling him that the benefit of using my product is that your hair is going to look amazing. That intrigued him. It was one sentence. That was it. So what are you telling people? Are you confident in the idea that you can serve people, and are you telling them what you can help them with? Are you ready for that conversation? Are you promoting the fact that you have a store, store in air quotes, right? Are you promoting the fact that you have a business and that you work that business every single day? If I had not had that conversation, I would not have enrolled that guy as a customer. And he wouldn't have had a transformation, and I wouldn't have had the luxury and the benefit of having a new customer. So it's really important to me to make sure that I'm constantly ready for those conversations. Next example, the following night, we're at a team party. Our team bought out this restaurant. There were literally 600 people. It was all sold out. It was crazy. It was so much fun. Shout out to you guys if you're listening who threw that party, because oh my God, it was amazing. But anyways, an entire barbecue restaurant in downtown St. Louis with a band and multiple rooms and all this kind of stuff. And just, there were definitely some men, but it was quite frankly mostly women. So 600 men and women just having a blast. On our way out, I called an Uber to get my friend and I back to our hotel room. And we were waiting for the Uber, and I was kind of waiting by the door where there was kind of a bouncer guy, right? And I just made some small talk to him and I said, hey, is this normal? Like, is this how packed it usually is? And he said, yeah, honestly, this is kind of a typical Friday night or something. I'm like, wow, well, this is awesome. And I said, has anyone talked to you about what we do? And he's like, no, not really. And I said, oh, you don't realize that all these women are here because we all are into hair care? Like, nobody's talked to you about your hair tonight? And the guy had great hair. And he said, no, nobody's talked to me about hair at all. And I said, are you serious? 600 people in a room. Every single one of us had to come by you at least once. Granted, like there was a line, so no one's going to like pitch the guy on the way in. But I said, not a one all night talk to you about what we do? He said, no. And I was like, awesome. I said, what do you use for shampoo? Like, are you happy with it? I was kind of joking, but like not really. You know what I mean? I want the guy to know what I do. Now, I'm not saying you have to be annoying and prospect every single person that you come in contact with for the rest of your life. That's not what I mean. But if you find yourself in an opportunity where it naturally comes up and it makes sense to bring it up, are you seizing the opportunity? Are you seizing the opportunity to have conversations with people? Are you seizing the opportunity to make sure on social media that people know what you do? Are you seizing the opportunity to be proud of the fact that you help people achieve a result? Whether that be a business result or a product result or some sort of confidence transformation, whatever it is that you do is really damn important. And the more that you talk about it with people, the more that you create confidence in yourself that you are impacting lives. So I get back to my initial question. If you had a brick and mortar store, what would you be doing? You'd be doing all the things. You'd be doing everything you could possibly afford to get the word out about what you do. You'd be having not launch parties, but like grand opening parties, and you'd be having holiday parties, like anything you can think of to get people into your store. You'd be advertising in the Little League, newspaper and sponsoring school giveaway, whatever. Are you doing that with your current business? Like, do people know that you're in business? Because guess what? For the first year in my business, it was like a state secret. Like I wasn't telling people what I was doing because I thought if I told them what I was doing that it would seem spammy. But all I did was just hide the fact that I could help them. And in retrospect, it was so obvious that I was just scared. So if you're nervous, you don't want to be perceived as spammy, you don't want to be perceived as aggressive, you need to stop that right now and think about if you had an actual brick and mortar store, you would be telling everybody, I'm the owner of blah, blah, blah down the street. I'm the owner of that super cute boutique down the street. Oh yeah, I have a grocery store. Oh, I have a pizza place. I have a restaurant. You'd be telling everybody. Are you doing the same thing? Oh yeah, I'm a brand rep for a company that does XYZ. Have you heard of them? Like, it doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to memorize an elevator pitch. You don't have to be fancy or sneaky. Just ask someone if they've heard of it. Because here's the other thing. With social media, like we're way smarter than we were 5 or 6 years ago, where everybody was like, oh, well, I'm not going to tell you the brand that I work with until you click on the link. We're over that nonsense now, right? It's 2022. We're at the damn end of 2022. We are over the secrecy. Tell me what you're repping because I know you're trying to sell something and I don't care. I'll buy it if it's great. Just tell me what it is. So don't try to keep it all a secret. You don't necessarily need to give away all the details and certainly don't vomit any kind of science or technical knowledge on the person, but ask them if they know what you do and ask them a simple question. Have you heard of it? Are you open to it? What kind of shampoo do you use? Do you have a favorite makeup that you already use? Think of something easy that you can pull out when someone asks you about what you do. So anyways, I hope that this just generated some food for thought for you. And I hope that it gives you confidence if you have been nervous to talk about what you do with people. And maybe it spurred some creative ideas about how you can advertise your business a little bit more, both on social media and in person. All right, good luck. Talk to you soon.